From Great American Ballpark, welcome again to Reds baseball. Tonight, the Reds host the Cardinals, Game 3 of a 4-game set. Do they have an encore after a historic night last night? And it is our pleasure to once again bringing you the annual Reds Community Fund Telethon game. I'm Jim Day in the call center. The phone lines are open, 513-765-7700. We've got some MVP gift bags to give you for a $100 donation. A $200 donation will be a premium gift pack. And we will talk about this all night long, and it also includes a very special lunch coming up with Billy Hamilton, Scooter Gennett, and myself for an even bigger donation. Lots to talk about as you look at the volunteers from Beacon Orthopedics. They are working the phones right now, 513-765-7700. We're here all night, and boy, do we bring some momentum into this bad boy because of one Scooter Gennett. Do the Reds have an encore? The guys that will call the game tonight, let's go to the booth. Tom Brenneman and Chris Welch.
All right, Jim Day, we'll be seeing you plenty, hearing from you plenty throughout the night, along with Bob Castellini and many, many others. And, you know, clearly that's the talk of our night tonight. The talk around the baseball world is what happened here last night. He just mentioned the name Scooter Gennett. The 17th time in big league history, one player hits 4 home runs in a game.
I mean, unbelievable. One after another after another. Not only just 4 home runs, but he hit them to different parts of the ballpark. You know, Tom, ever since last night, I go between smiling and laughing and kind of celebrating along with Scooter to scratching my head, asking myself, how does something like this happen, especially to Scooter Gennett, maybe one of the more unlikely candidates in all the league to be able to hit 4 in a row or 4 in a game. 17 total bases, really unbelievable.
All right, GS bringing the energy poses a question you just asked. How rare is it? You see the numbers last night, but look at the number of games played in Major League history, okay, that have been 4 home run games, 17 of them. There have been more perfect games than that.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, this is as rare as it gets. I'll tell you. You know, the other thing is you can make an argument that what Scooter Gennett did last night has had the single best offensive game of any player in the history of Major League Baseball.
Absolutely, and we hope you were with us last night. In his first at-bat tonight, he'll have a chance to do something no player has ever done before either, and that's homer in 5 consecutive at-bats in Major League Baseball. Stick around. When we come back, Jim Day will be standing by with Phil Castellini to talk about our big telethon game, raising money for the Reds Community Fund.
Last night and tonight, well, the weather not exactly as great as it was last night, but we will be quiet as we move through the evening here. Certainly a lot cooler. Temperatures falling through the 60s this evening under mostly cloudy skies. Could be a little sprinkle early on in the game, but shouldn't be much of a big deal. Enjoy that game right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
And it is the annual Reds Community Fund Telethon game. Phone lines open behind us, 513-765-7700, reds.com/telethon. My pleasure to welcome in Reds COO Phil Castellini. And we've talked about all the special stories and everything that the Reds Community Fund does in the community and help the youth in Reds country. But today you were part of the first ever signing day, and it's really proof that the garden is growing and it's living and breathing what the Reds Community Fund can do. How big was today?
Well, look, this is we've had a few classes already, but to do this today in what I felt was like a major league way, in our interview room, staged the way it was, a big deal for those kids, all the hats of all the universities they're going to. Look, I can't give you an exact number, but a good majority of those kids aren't likely in that same spot, going to play the game, going to college without the Reds Community Fund. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to them and their parents and coaches that were involved. It was a proud day for the Community Fund.
Years ago, you decided that the academy would be the focus of youth development as much as baseball and softball. How do you measure the success of the Reds Community Fund?
Well, I think today's the best example. Look, long term, if we produce the next Cincinnati Reds player, that would be awesome. That would be a great thing. But ultimately, along the way, we're trying to create citizens that are collaborative and intelligent and give back and work hard and work as a team and understand the values of the culture we think the Community Fest is trying to create. And so today, seeing all these kids go to college, another 19, not continuing with the sport, but continuing on to college, out of the program as well. That's really what we're trying to do every day. And like I said, love to see the next Reds player come out of there, but in the interim, having these kids of character come out of there is great by us.
Baseball and softball, a conduit to the game of life. So we're influencing children tonight. Phil, thank you very much for your time. We're here all night long. 513-765-7700. Coming up, Reds and Cardinals. Lineups and first pitch next.
13-1 drilling of the Redbirds last night, and the Menard starting lineup for Mike Matheny, the native of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, reads as follows, presented by Menards. Carpenter at first, Pham in center, Piscotty in right, Jerko the third baseman, Martinez is starting left with Diaz back in there at short. DeYoung is the second baseman, Eric Fryer for Yadier Molina behind the plate, Lance Lynn having a very good year on the mound. And starting it for the Reds, coming off a very good outing, 6 innings, 2 runs on Friday night when the Reds were able to beat the Atlanta Braves, is the veteran Bronson Arroyo. His numbers presented by Mazda.
Well, those are his numbers this year. Arroyo is 3 and 4, still an inflated earned run average, but the walks are beginning to come under control. The home runs can be a problem for Arroyo. He's been giving them up here this year at a higher frequency than ever before. But how long has Bronson been around? This is start number 40 for him against the St. Louis Cardinals.
And he started against him already twice this season, one in no decision, the other in a loss, and the Cardinals knocked him around pretty good each of those first true trips into St. Louis. So Matt Carpenter to lead things off. And it's in there, strike one, says Alfonso Marquez, a home plate umpire and crew chief, and this one is underway. Boy, look at that batting average for Carpenter. Not a bad on-base percentage. He'll draw some walks, but 209. In fact, over the last month, he has been a 148 batter and quickly behind 0-2. Carpenter's only hit in this series was a pop-up that was just out of the reach of Eugenio Suarez on this big defensive shift. You may remember, as a pop-up, and Suarez is playing basically the shortstop position, and he almost made the play. 1-2 on Carpenter. 277th start as a Red tonight for Bronson Arroyo. In the air, left center field. Hamilton will wave off the oncoming Adam Duvall, 1 out. We look at the Reds on defense, presented by Ford. Hamilton, Duvall, and Schebler back in there starting. He returned for the first time since the injury to the shoulder on Thursday night. And the way Jeanette played last night, I'd say he earned a start somewhere today.
Yeah, but he dropped down a place in the order. I mean, I knew that single killed him.
Hot smash into left field off the bat of Tommy Pham, and he has a 1-out single. They should have hit Jeanette first, second, third, fourth, and fifth tonight.
And scored 25 runs. You know, the hardest thing about facing Bronson Arroyo is being patient at the plate. I mean, you've got to let the game come to you always. You hear guys that are in the zone, they talk about that, but it's even more so important to be physically patient when you face Arroyo. He's feeding off aggressiveness in hitters. The more aggressive you are, the more you fall into his trap.
The Reds open play tonight, 27 up, 30 down. They are in third place in the National League Central. A tie atop the division between the Cubs and Milwaukee, and the Reds are 3 back. By winning the first 2 games of this series, they have leapfrogged these Cardinals, who are a half game behind the Reds in 4th place. And the Cardinals at 26 and 30. You know, before this series began, as that one's low and away, 2-0 on Piscotty, we talked about how the Cardinals had the #1 ranked ERA among starting rotations in the National League, and the Reds have the worst. Both of those still hold true, but the Red starters have outpitched these Cardinal starters in this series. Wojciechowski, 6 innings, 2 runs, outdueling Martinez, who recorded 1 more out but allowed 4 runs in that 7th inning before leaving. And then Adelman was terrific last night, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Adam Wainwright really roughed up. 9 earned runs in just 3 2/3 innings. See Scott Feldman sitting there. He'll start the series finale tomorrow afternoon. Sitting alongside Asher Wojciechowski, who threw the ball so well Monday night, did not figure in the decision. Runner goes, and it's a strike. Throw to second base, and the ball came out of Jeanette's glove, or they might have had it.
Boy, you know, that's Devin Mesoraco making something out of nothing right there. It was a slow breaking ball. Runners are always looking for something off speed to run on. Gives the catcher a much harder time to throw him out, but right on the money. I mean, I don't think Mesoraco could do it a whole lot better than that.
All right, runner in scoring position, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Piscotty is the only Cardinal, at least of those batting in the middle of the lineup right now, who's swinging a good bat. 5 out of 14, couple of home runs on this road trip, a trip where the Cardinals have not won a game. And he's gone swinging on that slow Arroyo breaking ball. 2 out.
There it is, 68 miles an hour. I mean, just when you think you wait long enough, he pulls the string just a little more. That's basically a hanger right there if you measure it at the height of the strike zone. I mean, it pretty much was right dead center.
So 2 away for Jed Jerko. .316 batter, 8 home runs, 22 batted in. Strike 1. Hooked into left field, foul. Nice play down there.
The big man.
The big fella. Very nicely done.
He may have saved somebody with this backhand grab.
A guy right there in a red sweatshirt saying, come on now.
He's wearing a
I was
Cardinal
ready
sweater.
to. No, it was a guy to the left. It was a guy in a red sweatshirt.
Oh, you're right.
You're
Yeah,
right
okay.
there. He's saying, come on now. I was ready to try to at least make a play. Gone swinging Jerko. And the inning is over. 1 hit, 1 left. Reds are coming up. Take a look at Brian Price's starting lineup presented by Menards. Hamilton, Cozart, Votto, Duvall, Suarez, Shubler. Scooter Gennett batting 7th after a 5-hit, 4-home run game. Mesoraco bats 8th, Arroyo 9th. And on the mound, this guy's been a good pitcher for a long time. Missed all of last season, injured, is Lance Lynn.
Yeah, he's also pitched very well in his career against the Reds. That .297 earned run average just shows you a little bit of what he's done lately. Last 7 of 11 starts, he has allowed 2 runs or fewer. So if you get a run or 2, take advantage of it. You may not get a whole lot more. We'll see if he can handle this Reds offense tonight.
65 and 42 career record for Lance Lynn, and a minuscule career ERA at 3.3. He just turned 30 years old less than 3 weeks ago. 2-0 on Billy Hamilton. Lynn last healthy in 2015 before this year. Went 12-11, an ERA barely over 3, 3.03. This guy has been a rock-solid pitcher over the last 4+ seasons. In fact, his 60 wins coming into this year over the last 4 years. And you take last year out, he trailed only Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Madison Bumgarner, and David Price among all pitchers in Major League Baseball for most wins. Pretty impressive.
And you know why he gets a lot of wins? He hangs around a long time. Although if you do look at Lance Lynn's run support average over the last few years, he has simply pitched on the right day an awful lot.
But still, with a career ERA at 3.3.
It's legit.
Yeah, it's legit.
You know, he keeps it real simple, too. He basically throws about 80% fastballs. I mean, fastball and cutter, and I call a cutter kind of a modified fastball because it's much harder than it is a breaking ball or a slider even. And he just mixes in every once in a while a curveball and every so often a changeup, but mostly hard stuff. If it's around 90 to 92, 93, it's a fastball. If it's 87, 88, it's a cutter.
Red hot Zach Cozart, 353 batting average, 9 home runs and 33 knocked in. Cozart had 2 hits, was on base 3 times, scored 2 runs before coming out of the game last night. He had 2 hits and scored a run in the series opener. We've told the story many times that Lance Lynn grew up in the same community, went to the same high school as Tucker Barnhart and Drew Storen. Brownsburg, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. He was born in Marion County. Three and two on Cozart. Be checking in all night long with Jim Day. Bob Castellini will be joining us later as we're asking for your help to raise some money for the Reds Community Fund. Huge day today for the Reds organization. Chris, you were there, part of the ceremony where those young boys and girls signed national letters of intent to play either softball or baseball collegiately starting next year.
There were 15 of them down there in the press conference room, but down at the bottom of the stadium next to the Diamond Club, and it was very impressive. Everybody dressed up. They had their college hat next to them where they're going to play. And they all went through and introduced themselves, talked about their favorite athlete, about the school that they came from, where they're headed. It's really an impressive group, and you can say the same thing about the overall effort of the Reds Community Fund, the Urban Youth Center. Of course, most of the baseball players that were down there are playing on the same baseball team. The Urban Youth Academy and the RBI program has a couple about the same age, and they're playing this summer baseball before they head off in the fall to go to their respective colleges.
2 down for Votto. First pitch swinging, down a strike.
There were a lot of big smiles. The parents were there, the coaches were there, and I mean, to a man or a lady who were there, you ask them, and many of them will tell you, you know, the only reason I'm sitting here at this table signing to play a letter of intent at my college is because of the Urban Youth Academy and the Cincinnati Reds.
And as Phil Castellini mentioned with Jim Day to start our game coverage here tonight, you know, you'd love to have one of those young people one day play for the Reds. It'd be an incredible story, but they're trying to build CEOs of companies over there too. They have an after-school program for those that are underprivileged. Maybe they don't have a parent at home, maybe one parent, both parents working, and no other brothers and sisters around to keep an eye on them after school. So it gives them a safe, warm, clean, healthy environment. They can go to their homework. They can get some physical exercise, get some tutoring there.
It's a great point, Tom, because of the 15 that signed letters of intent to play college baseball or softball, there are another 19 that graduated from the Urban Youth Academy program but aren't playing baseball or softball down the road.
Fly ball to center field. It is a very cool night tonight. Ball does not figure to carry a lot. Reds are gone in order. We're scoreless at the end of 1.
Ohio is brought to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good, it's Skyline time. Reds Community Fun Telethon Game. MVP packages for a $100 donation. A Joey Votto dual home and away replica jersey, a Billy Hamilton wall jump figurine, vintage Reds pennant, license plate holder, Reds hat, and 2 tickets to a future Reds game. 513-765-7700. If you don't want to wait online or on the phone, you can get online at reds.com/telethon. And gentlemen, if we have time, we already have some big donations I'd love to get their names on.
All right, we're waiting for your phone calls at home if you're able to help us here. Mesoraco, a basket catch running over near the Reds dugout. Boy, he went a long way, did Devin, to get that ball.
Covered ground quickly. I'll tell you, if we didn't know his medical history of having, hip surgery on both labrums, on both sides of his hips, you'd never know that this guy was on the DL really to start the season, or at least during the most of spring training. Really outstanding.
Aledmus Diaz, a shortstop. Now, he had a big time of it against Arroyo in St. Louis earlier this year. A couple of home runs and a Cardinal win. Jumped on Arroyo early in the game. Diaz had the night off last night. 1-1. Clayton Kershaw got lucky again today. He outdueled Steven Strasburg in a 2-1 win.
Yeah, he is lucky because every time he pitches, the other team never scores any runs.
And he happens to win. Popped up into foul ground, and that's the second out of the inning. So a pair of foul balls. Strasburg gave up 2 runs, 1 earned. I don't know if you saw any video of that. Boy, Kershaw was hot when he was taken out of that game by the manager Dave Roberts at the end of 7 innings. He had allowed 3 hits, 1 run. Struck out 9. He did walk 3 today, but he wanted to carry that one through right for 6 more outs. Popped up and out of play. Strike 1 to Paul DeYoung.
Well, when's the last time you saw 3 foul ball pop outs in the same inning?
I can tell you one thing. It's happened since the last time I saw 4 home runs in a game.
And I don't think your call would be quite as exciting either.
I don't know. Let's see if DeYoung can pop up into foul ground. That was naturally the talk of the baseball world. This one will stay fair, and Arroyo will sling it over to Joey Votto in a perfect second inning. All right, Scooter's due up 3rd. He could set an all-time major league record with a home run in 5 straight at bats. Can he do it?
And now Reds legend Scooter Gennett and myself along the way. For a $1,000 pledge, you can have a special opportunity coming up Wednesday, July 19th. I mean, Billy Hamilton's as funny as they get. Scooter Gennett and myself. We already have Mike Schuster making a $1,000 pledge, and he will be joining me, Billy, and Scooter for a lunch extravaganza. So if you would like, if you have the means to give that much, this will be a lunch. This is not one time or one person. We will have a group outing, and I guarantee you, I personally guarantee you, it'll be the lunch of your lifetime.
Well, Jim Day, if you're going to be there, I know it's big league to start, but now you throw in Billy Hamilton and Scooter Gennett. And you know what? What you just said is so true. It doesn't matter what Scooter Gennett does the rest of his life. He will forever be known as a Reds legend for what happened here last night. 1 away in the inning, scoreless game. Again to repeat, he's coming up after Eugenio Suarez, or after Scott Schebler. He's due up 4th in the inning. I had said 3rd earlier, due up 4th.
Well, he's in the hole right now, right?
Yep. No player has ever homered in 5 consecutive at-bats in the history of Major League Baseball. Schebler's 4 home runs came after a run-scoring single, his first at-bat in the 1st inning last night. The grand slam in the 3rd, 2-run home run in the 4th, solo home run in the 6th, 2-run home run in the 8th. Knocked in 10. Suarez went 1 of 3 last night, was on base 3 times. He had 4 runs batted in. Or I beg your pardon, had 3 batted in. Hit by a pitch, drew a walk, and had the 3-run triple in front of Jeanette's 2nd home run in the 4th inning. 2-2.
You know, the other thing that we're doing tonight, Tom, I know that the room down at the end of the stadium here is just full of all the volunteers from Beacon Orthopedic and a number of other people from the Reds down there. Jim and George Grand are down there. But we're also auctioning off that lucky, patriotic American bow tie that I wore on Bow Tie Tuesday last night. And it's Scooter Jeanette's Bow Tie Tuesday. Scooter he's going to sign it. I'm going to sign half of it. We're going to put it in a shadow box with a little plaque. Talk about what kind of a night it was. And we're auctioning that off right now, and it's been going on the auction on my Twitter account at @ThinkPitch, THINK pitch, and it started right at game time. We're up to $400 on that bow tie right now.
Very nice.
So if you want to bid on it, all you've got to do is get onto Twitter, look at Think Pitch, and put yourself a bid in there. Then we'll put you in touch with Jim Day for payment. We will get you that bow tie and the plaque and everything else.
Reds have their first base runner of the game. Suarez draws a 1-out walk, and here comes Schebler. Nice to have him back in the lineup. He is the team leader in home runs. He injured his shoulder in the same game Billy Hamilton injured his shoulder. Both of them hurt while diving for balls in the outfield. Hamilton, of course, has come back and played now the last 3 games. Schebler came in late last night, first time we've seen him since Saturday, and tonight his first start.
Well, I think that when I got to the ballpark that Adam Duvall and Scott Schebler were lined up at Brian Price's door. They're saying, I'm okay to play tonight. We've seen enough of Scooter Jeanette.
And then Peraza was behind them. And apparently of that trio, Peraza drew the short straw, because there's no way that Scooter Jeanette was going to be on the bench tonight. He might have started for Joey Votto tonight. Schebler had been very, very good against these Cardinals. Those first 2 trips into St. Louis. It's nice to see that the Reds, without Schebler, these last 2 games have been able to get other guys to do the job offensively in his absence. Suarez has 3 stolen bases. He's been thrown out twice. 3-1 on Schebler. Ball 4, and here comes Scooter. All righty. Listen to this round of applause. Again, to repeat, if you're just joining us, no player in the history of baseball has ever hit a home run in 5 consecutive at-bats. Jeanette with a home run here could be that first player to do it. A little short. And a double play will end the inning. All right, we move on. Bob Castellini going to join us when we come back in the third. No score at the end of 2. Telethon telecast tonight. 513-765-7700. We have the MVP package available. Premium MVP packages available starting at $100 and $200 for those. But look, if you can afford $5, $10, we're thrilled and we're thankful, whatever it is you can do. And really the man who really helped resurrect this whole idea again, of course, is the Reds president and chief executive officer, Bob Castellini. Bob, this Reds Community Fund has been around since 2001, but it really took off when you and your group bought the team in 2006. How has the Community Fund, played in regard to the overall vision of this franchise and how you go about measuring being a successful franchise?
Yeah. You said it took off in 2006. It took off in 2006 because we let Charlie Frank loose. And he's done a fantastic job.
Yes, he
Just
has.
fantastic job. The fact that there is no organized sports. I mean, you've got some AAU basketball and you have football really, but all summer long, our youth academy is the organized sport in the summer. And it really has, it's very impactful because we've got so many kids that are part of it. And we like to get them out to that academy and into the RBI and the other activities of baseball to get them off their devices and keep them off the streets and get them to appreciate baseball. And I'll tell you, what we find is that it's incredibly helpful for these kids to learn about teamwork and self-discipline and character. And Charlie and his group have done a great job. One of the things that we're really proud of is the activity of our players. They're very, very involved. I mean, this is unbelievable. Yesterday, Scooter Jeanette was out there for 2 hours before he came down here and hit 4 home runs.
Well, maybe everybody ought to be out there before a game.
I was thinking of the same thing. And Amir Garrett was surprised a bunch of kids and came into an RBI game and just showed up. And I mean, that's the way these kids are. This clubhouse of ours is fantastic, and it's been a great partnership with the players this year and the coaches. It's been tremendous.
Bob, Major League Baseball, Commissioner Rob Manfred has identified youth participation as one of the key things for baseball going forward. Now, the Reds have taken a leadership role in that. You've got to be so proud as to the way the Reds have participated in really taking care of their business at home and addressing one of the biggest challenges that baseball has going forward.
Absolutely. It accomplishes so much. You're teaching kids character. You're teaching kids to appreciate baseball, and you're giving them a lot of self-confidence as they succeed in the sport. And this is boys and girls. It's a fantastic program. I've got all these facts and figures here. I won't bore you too much. But
you're not boring anybody with this. This is great stuff.
We have 20,000 kids per year come through our turnstiles out there. We've redone approximately 400 fields since the inception, since 2006. We've trained 500 coaches. Now that's incredible. And we've got 2,300 kids in the Reds Rookie Success Program annually. It's just it's a program that we are very, very proud of, and make no mistake, Charlie Frank has really put it all together.
Bob, the thing we were talking about too is from that ceremony earlier today where the young people who signed the national letters of intent, the 15 that were there today, and there are 19 others that passed through the academy this year that are also going on to college. They may not be playing baseball or softball, but they're going to college. And Chris and I were talking about this before you got here. And as you talk about developing character and discipline and these kinds of things, for a lot of these kids, they may not have a lot of discipline at home. Their mom or their dad might be working all the time. This also gives kids who maybe aren't even athletes a chance somewhere to go after school where they have a place to do their homework. They feel safe, they're secure, they're warm in the winter. I mean, there's a lot more to the whole operation over there at the Urban Academy than just trying to make baseball and softball players.
Absolutely.
It's an incredible operation.
And it really is. And we didn't dream it was going to be this successful. Major League Baseball came to us and we came to them. I think it was more we coming to them because we saw they're building these other academies in these other cities. And we said, we will do a great job for Major League Baseball in the city of Cincinnati for a lot of different reasons, not the least of which our franchise is dedicated to instilling baseball into the youth.
Let me ask you this. What would you say, person sitting at home tonight, and look, nobody gets asked to give to a charity, A, B, C, D, E, and they're all great charities right on down the road. But what would you say to somebody watching tonight that might have a few extra bucks? They're thinking about calling or donating during the game as we're asking people to do. Why should they do it?
Well, you don't even have to be a baseball fan to do it, although that would help because you're building character in the kids in your community. Well, that wasn't too good.
So Matt Carpenter with a home run. That makes it 1-0 here in the third.
It's all right. Well, look, P&G, I mentioned Major League Baseball, but P&G kicked in and helped us build this facility, and they did it because it was an instrumental thing for the youth in our community, and P&G is dedicated to Greater Cincinnati. There's no question about that. So it's a twofer. It's great for baseball. We're building baseball players and fans, and we're building character and self-discipline and teamwork with these kids. It's an incredible program.
And that goes right into the community, Bob. The signing ceremony and press conference they had today with 15 of them signing letters of intent to play baseball or softball at the next level, up in college. But there were 19 that went through the RBI program that aren't, for whatever reason, are not playing baseball or softball at the next level, but they walk away from that youth academy a better person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really thought that what you mentioned about training 500 coaches, because you think about the ripple effect of what 500 coaches who are dedicated, who have some training, who are now invested in the community and the kids can do for the entire community.
Absolutely, Chris. You cannot have a successful youth baseball program without the dedication and the volunteering of your coaches. And to have 500 coaches trained through our youth academy, Urban Youth Academy, is fantastic. I mean, it's the guts of our program. It's the success of our program.
And you've got a couple of kids from talking to Marlon Stiles, one of the Red Scouts, who was there in attendance. Of course, he's so involved in youth baseball here and in the Urban Academy. You've got a couple of kids that possibly will be in the Major League Draft coming up.
Yeah, and we have our eye on at least one of them, and maybe both, which would be a first for us. It would be terrific. Sign one of our Urban Youth Academy kids. It would be off the charts.
If I'm not mistaken, well, we were I might be wrong on this because it was built along with the help of P&G and so many others, and of course the Reds before the All-Star game in 2015, and Frank Robinson was here for that, and Joe Morgan was here for that, and so many other greats, and Rob Manfred, the commissioner, was here. I think we were the third one built in the United States, if I remember right, or maybe we were the fourth. I know there have been maybe a couple of others that have risen from the ground since then, but to know you're one of the first ones in America, that in and of itself has to make you very proud, and everybody involved.
Well, it makes us very proud, but we went to baseball, Major League Baseball, and we said to Rob, look, we're the first team in baseball. We should have one of the first Urban Youth Academies. And that argument worked pretty well, and baseball has been terrific, just terrific.
Oh, and won the count on Piscotti, 2 outs. A home run by Carpenter here in the St. Louis third. It's a 1-0 ball game. And it's swung on and fouled out of play.
I wish I could have been here last night with you, Tom. I hear you just had a great time.
Well, we had a ball. And for those of you that have never seen this, look, it's over by the old Cincinnati Gardens.
Yeah.
You know, over there. And, I mean, there's 4 fields outdoor. There's the indoor facility. It is just a magnificent venue. There you get a look at it. Over off Seymour.
Yep.
Look at that place.
And there are games going on there all the time now. Activity breeds activity.
Absolutely.
And it's only going to get bigger and better.
Bigger and better because of all the support from the fans. We've had tremendous support from greater Cincinnati citizens. I can't thank everyone enough for all of their support. Their cheerleading, their donations, their interest in the program. It's been phenomenal. And it's a shot in the arm for everybody involved with the Urban Youth Academy.
Well, Bob, I know I'm speaking on behalf of so many parents, of so many youngsters, and so many boys and girls all over greater Cincinnati and all over Reds country. You know, when you talked about all the fields that have been built due to the work of the Reds Community Fund, when we go on the Reds Caravan, and now we're going into West Virginia, we're going into Indiana, we're going into Northern Ohio, we're going into Tennessee, we're going into Kentucky naturally. Every time we pull in to seemingly every single one of these stops, it could be a big city, it could be a tiny little town in the middle of Kentucky. You know, we'll drive our bus right by one of the fields that is named, you know, in honor of the Reds Community Fund, and you can, right before your eyes, see the difference it makes in these kids' lives, and it's just not Cincinnati, Ohio.
It's Reds country.
That's right.
You bet.
That must make you feel good as you drive by and you see a bunch of kids out there playing, and it was a field that was refurbished by the Reds Community Fund.
It does, Chris. It gives you a sense of pride and accomplishment. You bet.
Leanne 2 on Piscotty. And another foul ball back out of play.
Hey, one thing the Cardinals are doing here in this inning, it looked like it was going to be a quick inning for Arroyo. He got an easy ground ball, then a 9-pitch at bat against the pitcher Lance Lynn before he finally got a strikeout, the home run. But Tommy Pham works a walk, a little longer and longer at bats. They seem to be just a little more patient, fouling off a lot of pretty good pitches.
Hey, before I let you get out of here, we've talked about the community fund, but what do you think of this team so far this year?
I think it's miraculous. It's the spirit and the can-do, and we walk out on that field and we know we can win the game, even though we know we've got our 3 top starting pitchers hurt. And it really picks you up every time you come to the ball game.
On a 3-2 pitch, runner going, and Pham will score all the way from first base on the double by Piscotty, so a 2-0 ball game. And you said it when they went ahead 1-0. The way the Reds have shown the ability this year to come from behind in so many games, seemingly night after night after night through stretches, has been amazing.
Amazing. And look, fans come to see the action, and our boys are up there swinging the bat, and there's inevitably a lot of action in our ball games. But these young kids, I don't know how to describe it, but they just don't feel like they're going to lose. And they're all pulling for each other. Whether they're all vying for the same spot doesn't make any difference. They pull for each other. It's a phenomenal clubhouse.
We know you don't get very emotional about this winning and losing stuff either, do you?
Well, I probably would have joined you last night, Tom. I mean, I heard you, but I was down in my box, and I would have joined you up here. I was so excited, and you kind of led you two guys were the leader of the band last night. It was terrific.
Well, we had a great time. You know, I was honored to be there. I mean, you know, look. You do what any of us do, and you're blessed and fortunate enough to work in this world, in this business, and you come to work every day. I mean, you call this work, you know, sitting here, and to see something that I'd never seen before. And now there are other people here at the ballpark. There was a scout here last night that saw the Mark Whitten game, but he might have been the only guy here that remembers that.
Right.
You know, my dad wasn't here last night. He was there for the Mark Whitten game. Chris, I don't know if you were there for the Mark Whitten game.
I was not. I had the night off for the Mark Whitten game.
And that was 4 home runs in a game by a Cardinal against the Reds at the old Riverfront Stadium many years ago.
That's forgettable. It wasn't by a Red.
Right. How cool must that be for him, though? You think about all the players in this franchise's history, the only guy to ever do that.
And, you know, he's really a fine young man. He's unassuming. He's humble. He's just the type of man that you'd like to keep for forever. He leads by example, and you know how he got his name, don't you? He told us this at a season ticket luncheon. He always would escape the seatbelt, and I guess Marty should talk to him about that because he does that ad. Always buckle up, but his mother got so disgusted with him, she took him to the police station. And she walked in and she said to the fellow behind the desk, she said, "What do you do with young people that will not keep their seatbelts on?" Well, he took it up and he knew exactly what the act was. And he said, "Oh, man," he said, "let me take him into this private room and talk to him." And he said, "Now listen, young man, you know, we can send you to a home. We can send you to some kind of a disciplinary program. You've got to keep that seatbelt on. You understand?" And Scooter was scared to death. He was scared to death. And he happened to have a champion, his favorite guy on Saturday cartoons, name was Scooter. And so the fella asked him what his name was. And he looked at him and he said, "Scooter. My name's Scooter." And he's been Scooter ever since. Isn't that a great story?
That's a great story. And it fits him.
Yeah.
Straight up in the air.
All right, we got him now.
Bob, I want to thank you for everything, and I know I'm
Great.
speaking for all the parents and the kids. Thank you for everything you're doing with the Reds Community Fund. We're going to try to raise a lot of money tonight.
I know you are, and thank you, fellas. You're doing a great job. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Bob. Always a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Chris.
Reds President and Chief Executive Officer Bob Castellini, kind enough to stop by. 3-0 ball game, Cardinals in front.
Also, I just got off the phone with Warren Wettinger. He is from Yesterday's Kids. It's a senior softball organization, 200-plus players of 65 to 88. He said he would give $500 if I got on the phone with him. Well, I got on the phone and talked with him. So if you want me on the phone and you're ready to give $500, call in and talk to me. And Chris Welsh, I got a bow tie donation as well. Sean Craig, $500 for that bow tie you wore last night on that historic night. So we've got all kinds of things going on. The MVP gift packages for a $100 donation, $200 donation for the Premier MVP pack, 513-765-7700. Or if you don't want to go through the phone process, reds.com/telethon. At some point, you guys are overwhelming us, so these calls are coming in hot and heavy. If there is a wait, you can get online and get the very same items. By the way, that Premier package involves all the above, plus a signed baseball of one of your Reds' favorite players. So we are rocking and rolling over here. If you want to call me, call me.
Well, give Jim Day a call. There you see the MVP package at $100, a premium MVP package at $200. But again, we want to stress, there are a lot of people who don't have that kind of money. If you do, believe me, we'd be glad to take it for the Reds Community Fund. But if you have $1 or maybe a little person there who's lucky enough to have great baseball fields or softball fields to play on, and maybe you got 50 cents in your piggy bank, we'll gladly take it. We appreciate it.
Well, let me give you an update on the bow tie bid. It has gone from $500 to $700 thanks to Mike McLaughlin.
Wow.
So, Mike, thank you very much. $700 is right now where that bid is for the bow tie, signed by Scooter, Jeanette, myself, and be a nice item.
Bobble down there at third, but Arroyo thrown out at first base. Take a look at the Cardinals on defense, presented by Floyd. Pham controls center, flanked by Martinez and Piscotty. First start behind the plate in this series for Fryer in place of Molina. Billy Hamilton with 2 down. Cardinals a 3-0 lead. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Reds still without a hit off Lance Lynn. He walked batters Suarez and Schebler with 1 out in the 2nd inning before a double play ball induced off the bat of Jeanette. And the first 2 retired in the 3rd. Billy stabbed at it, missed it. 1-1. Marlins will be the Cubs later tonight. Still the Giants and the Brewers one more time. Mentioned the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw, 2-1 winners earlier today over the Washington Nationals and Steven Strasburg. Three-1 to Billy. And again shows a bunt, pulls the bat away.
You know, one of the things that a fake bunt like that will help a batter do is keep his eye on the ball.
That ball hit hard, and that will be caught.
Ooh.
That's the height of Martinez out there in left field. If he doesn't go about 6'3" out there, there's no way he catches that ball. Ohio brought to you by Cincinnati Children's, changing the outcome together. And by your local Ford dealer, Ford. Go further. Always a special hello to those watching over at Cincinnati Children's tonight. Hope you're having a great night, and pray for an even better day tomorrow. Oh, and one on Diaz. And a fly ball down the right field line. Schebler will not be able to hang on.
I mean, you just don't realize how difficult that is until you try making a play like that. There is almost no line at all down, the room at all down there on the foul side of that line. More than at some ball clubs. Wrigley Field, there is virtually none. But I mean, you're thinking about running into that cement wall down there with about a little bit of 3-inch pad on it.
Three and two on Diaz, leading off this St. Louis fourth inning. He fouled out to the shortstop. Cozart is only at bat tonight. 36 of his 64 pitches thrown by Arroyo in this game came in the 3-run third. Hook to the left side. One out. Good pick by Votto.
Boy, Diaz hustling down the line.
The Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Minor League All-Stars announced yesterday. And we take a look in Pensacola. 6 of them headed to the All-Star game. How about that? And look at the Dayton Dragons. 7 of them, including the #1 pick a year ago, Tyler Stevenson, 2 years ago. And of course, Tyler Malley is the one who threw the perfect game earlier this year. That one hooked into left field off the bat of DeYoung. And that'll be a 1-out double.
Looked like a little cutter that just hung right there. Didn't do much at all. Wanted to work it down and away, and DeYoung hits it right inside the bag.
I'd like to remind you, we're inviting your calls, raising money for the Reds Community Fund here tonight. There's a pop-up into shallow center. Billy will come in and get it 2 away. The number to dial is area code 513-765-7700. That's 513-765-7700. Now, they've had wait times anywhere from 4 minutes to 7 minutes. You can just go online if that's easier for you and don't want to wait on hold. Go to reds.com/telethon. Now the pitcher Len, who had an extended at bat, wound up striking out before 4 consecutive Cardinals reached base. Jeanette will plant and throw. He knew it was running. That's a smart play there by Scooter Jeanette. All right, Cozart, Votto, Duvall. Reds are hoping for more than that in the 4th inning, trailing by 3.
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark, where earlier today the Urban Youth Academy of the Cincinnati Reds honored 14 spectacular young people. They've graduated from high school. They've signed letters of intent to play baseball and softball in college, and they were honored at Great American Ballpark. Michael Lorenzen stopped by to say hello to them. We also had Dick Williams, the general manager. Phil Castellini said a few words to him. Charlie Frank from the Reds Community Fund there. All part of a very spectacular day here at Great American Ballpark. And you know, the bottom line of all of this is a day and this is a night for the kids. A little bit later on, we'll hear from some of this year's graduates. But we're here tonight with 2 graduates of the Urban Youth Academy, 2 girls who played ball, went to school here, and they're now in college. First of all, Savannah Taylor and Ashley Carroll next to her. Savannah is at Wittenberg College, and Ashley is at Case Western. By the way, what are you majoring in?
I'm a biochem major.
Biochem. What are you majoring in?
Chemical engineering.
Just like all of us, right? Savannah, what did your experience mean to you to be part of this program? You're a graduate of it. You're in college. You received an RBI scholarship, which is $5,000 a year, $20,000 in total. Pretty special.
Yeah. Well, the RBI program really has given me so much. I mean, you can't really repay someone for that. So I've become really involved with community service. You know, my coaches, Herb, Kevin, and Pat, have really dedicated so much of their time and energy towards making me not only a better softball player, but a better person overall by encouraging me to, you know, always do well in school. I mean, they've pushed me from the beginning, you know, do better on your ACT, you know. They've dedicated so much of their time, you know, towards hitting practice, extra work on slapping, anything I need. And, you know, the program overall is just given me so much. I mean, it's not just friends. Like, the academy, they're really my family. I come home from college. It's my home away from home. It really is. The first day I come home from college, I go up to the academy, and I'm like, they're all like, Savvy. I really do miss it. So you know, it's really given me so many opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to have if it weren't for the people at the academy. So I would like to thank everyone, you know, it's given me this opportunity.
Ashley, I know it was a special experience for you to be part of the program, and you come back to play in the summer too.
Yeah, so the RBI program has given me so much in terms of softball, but also outside of the game. And that's something our coaches stress a lot, is that yes, they want you to be great on the field, but it's a lot more than softball. It's who you are as a person. It's who you are when you graduate high school. It's the school you go to. It makes you a better person, and they stress that a lot, and it's something I've learned. And being able to see the academy before we had, you know, the beautiful building we have now, and seeing how the whole organization has grown, it's taught me a lot about, you know, if you put so much work into something, it can turn out to be a really great thing, and that can be transferred into any aspect of life. It's the work you put in, you get what you get out.
There's some people sitting at home now as we raise money for this telethon for the Urban Youth Academy. What would you like to say to them to help raise money?
It'll definitely be put to good use, that's for sure. You know, anything helps. The people up there, they all volunteer, and they put it forth a lot. I mean, we're up there. The softball team always is up there volunteering and helping out. And, you know, you're helping a kids have that opportunity to play. And, you know, you really, you know, get back to something, make yourself feel good.
Well, we're so honored to have you back, and I know some of your former teammates are too. It's been a very special day here as Joey Votto gets on first, and the Reds try to rally here in the 4th inning. But guys, these are two pretty special young ladies who have graduated from the academy, who've come back, who still service the city, and who also are very much a part of the Reds family, not just now, but forevermore.
George, there's no doubt about that. And George, I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but could you repeat again what they're majoring in? I don't know if I've ever heard of that major before.
Yeah, hey, Chris, and Tommy, I think if we were ever going out with these girls, we were in college, we'd be in big trouble having conversations. But
oh, there's no doubt about that.
What do you guys want to be, by the way, when you take your majors? What do you want to be?
I want to go to PA school or medical school. I haven't decided.
I think I want to work in drug development, so being the person that either makes the drugs or make sure they can be transferred safely and packaged safely.
What do we want to do, be lifeguards during the summer?
That's about right. You know that old adage about you had me at hello, right? For the movie, the time. Well, Georgia, the question you asked, it'd have been over at hello.
Amen.
Congratulations to those young ladies, and such great smiles and great futures. And certainly having a major hand in that, as you heard directly from them. And George, thanks so much. The Urban Academy and the RBI program that we're trying to raise money for here tonight. Reds, meanwhile, trail 3-0. They're batting here in the last of the 3rd inning. Votto with an infield hit at first, and it's 0-2 on Adam Duvall. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Suarez next. We've seen this Reds team so many times already this year rally back after falling from behind, and they're going to have to try and do the same thing again tonight. Hard hit ball, but right at the third baseman, Jerko. An Okanoke storyline for this Reds team. I mean, certainly flexing its muscles. You look back over the last 50 years of Reds baseball. I tell you, I think you'd lose a lot of money, Chris, over the first 57 games, not seeing the 72, the 75, or the 76 teams for the most home runs through this number of games.
Well, the home runs are up overall in baseball, and there's no denying that. Since 2014, the home runs are up 43%. So I don't know whether it's a function of the hitters just getting stronger, maybe the pitchers throwing harder, providing more of the power, or hitters beginning to uppercut a little bit. There's been some people and some whispers about maybe baseballs being a little harder and traveling farther this year than in years past, but we saw 4 of them go out last night off the bat of 1 player. More and more, I think, Tom, that ball clubs are living and dying by the long ball, and the small ball is a thing of the past. Doesn't mean you can't win games that way.
Ball and 1 strike on Suarez.
I just got great news from Jim Day via a text that a gentleman called in. He does not have Twitter, but he wanted to bid on the bow tie, and the bow tie bid now sits at $1,000. I want to thank Peter and Julie Hill. Dr. Peter Hill, great veterinarian here in town.
Oh, yeah.
I got that bow tie as a birthday present from Peter and Julie.
Really?
And it was my favorite bow tie, and I wore it last night to honor D-Day. And as it turns out, what a great decision that turned out to be, because now we can benefit the community fund by an extra at least $1,000. We hope the bid goes up from there, but we thank you very much.
Well, he might re-gift it to you.
His name is Sean Craig, who made that bid. And
So,
Sean, we thank you very much.
Absolutely. And thank you, Chris, for putting it up there. 3-2 to count. You didn't have to do that.
Well, I want to thank Peter and Julie. I mean, Peter takes care of Bubbles.
Peter's good man.
We betted him out big time before that happened. There's a few bubbles in the stands tonight, I think.
Oh, yeah, and a Bark in a Park night.
Bark in the Park night, Reds
Great.
Community Fund Telethon night. Night after Jeanette hits 4.
Bouncer to Jerko, and that will end things in the Reds' 4th inning. An infield hit. Trying to raise money tonight. There's a group from the RBI program, some of the alumni. Great to have them here.
We have one person that's in on this, and this could be a group. This is going to be a group outing, and I guarantee you we will make it a very personal lunch. It'll be lunch coming up in July, and Billy Hamilton, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. Scooter Gennett, a very engaging guy, and now in baseball immortality with 4 home runs last night. And with that $1,000 donation on Wednesday, July 19th, we will have lunch together in a very intimate setting. So who would like to be on board for that? And Tom, as we go back to you guys, I'd like to further stress something that you said. Listen, not everyone has the means to certainly go to that level, or even $100. Trust me, I've been there. We will take anything, any means that you have. It could be $5, $10. And let me also stress this. You heard the young ladies talk about the volunteers at the Urban Youth Academy. If you do not have the means, your time is just as valuable.
Yep.
If you go on to reds.com/community, there are lots of volunteer opportunities. If you would like to mentor some of these kids, if you'd like to give them some positivity in their life, send them on the right direction, give them a place to go to do their homework, etc. Volunteering can be just as valuable, if not more valuable. So you can volunteer your time and be a part of this if you don't have the means as far as money goes. And trust me, I've been there. So there's lots of ways to get involved, and we appreciate anything that anyone can do out there, and we are just gracious that we're able to have this opportunity tonight.
Very well put, Jim Day. We appreciate that very much. Three and 2 on Matt Carpenter, who leads off the St. Louis 5th. And he's drawn a walk. Second walk in the game given up by Arroyo. The other was to the man who walks to the plate now, Tommy Pham. And he would score on a double by Piscotty. Cardinals got all 3 of their runs with 2 outs and nobody on. Home run by Carpenter, walk to Pham, double by Piscotty, single by Jerko. Should be a double play ball here. Hit sharply, and they'll turn it over.
A little breathing easier now for Bronson Arroyo after that double play ball. You lead the inning off with a walk. You have Tommy Pham, who's been on base twice. One hit very sharply in the first time up. And with Piscotty next, as you said earlier, Tom, the guy swinging the bat better than anybody else in his Cardinal lineup. You clear the bases before him, and if you pitch to him differently now than you do with 1 or 2 runners on base. Oh. Some guys can hit 94, but they can't hit 74.
Jam shot flare. It'll be a base hit.
You know, the weird thing is that most hard throwing pitchers, they get victimized by those bloops more than the soft guys do. But Arroyo's had his share of balls that have fallen in there against him.
Coming up later on, we'll have our Miller Time moment brought to you by Miller Lite. Got a lot of good moments these last couple of games with the Cardinals in town. Tonight and tomorrow still to go. Liner will end the inning. A hit a man left. Schebler, Jeanette, Mesoraco coming up. Reds down 3. That ball lined into right field. It will find the seat. Schebler, number 17. Boy, these sprints around those bases. Team leader with 17 home runs is Scott Schebler.
I'll tell you, he really hits the ball late, doesn't he? Look at the drive of that back leg as he just delivers and punishes that baseball. That's a good-looking swing right there now. I'll tell you, the one that Jeanette hit last night to left field, that's about as good a home run swing as you're going to see as well.
Of the 17 home runs that Schebler has hit this year, 8 of the 17 have come leading off an inning. 1-1 on Scooter Jeanette.
Maybe move him up a spot in the lineup.
Lead him off. 1-0 right out of the gate.
That'd take care of that, wouldn't it?
That's right.
You know, there's so many different stats surrounding Scooter Jeanette's home run game last night, 4 of them. But the one that really gets to me, there are 30 teams that play Major League Baseball, and they all played last night. Scooter Jeanette by himself drove in more runs than 24 of them.
Wow. How about that?
It's a one-man wrecking crew.
Sure was. Tying a franchise record of 10 runs batted in. Got a phone call today from a fellow a lot of you around town will know the name Ernie Miner. He has been in Cincinnati for his entire adult life, very active in the community, politics for a long time, multiple administrations in Washington, D.C. And he was telling me the story earlier today. He was at that game when Walker Cooper knocked in 10 runs. And that was a record that Scooter Jeanette tied last night. He said, in fact, Walker Cooper was entertaining a group of Reds fans before the game, and Ernie Miner told me he must have had 2 pitchers of beer before the game ever started. To give you an idea of what it was like back in those days. You know, that went on all the time back in those days.
Hydrating, you know.
That was against Chicago, and he was at an appearance with a lot of other, you know, Reds fans, and got to talking baseball and having 1, 2, 3, and then knocked in 10. I don't think Scooter followed that program. Mesoraco with a count of 0-1.
Well, the bid on the bow tie, Tom, $1,200.
You got to be kidding
Justin
me.
Cap. Justin, we thank you very much. There's only one bow tie, folks, and when it's gone, it is gone.
Well, Jim Day has an update on how we're doing.
Tell you what, once we put up that little lunch thing again, the phone started ringing off the hook, and we got a lot of $1,000 donations for this lunch with Billy Hamilton and Scooter Jeanette and myself. And I had the pleasure of hosting a luncheon today with Scooter Jeanette. And after last night becoming a Reds legend, he said, you know what, I want to be a part of this, and just donated his time on his own. And we invite you to call in and have lunch with us.
Tell you what, Chris, Jim Day's become so popular, we might have to pay to have lunch with Jim Day anymore. He used to eat dinner with us on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And, now it's pretty tough duty.
Well, we'll make an exception. Hey, Jim Day, I got a question for you.
Scooter Gennett was one of the players there, but also Amir Garrett. I mean, was he the forgotten wallflower today with all the questions going to Scooter? Jim Day must be on the phone.
No. I'm right here. He was not. In fact, those two were ribbing each other pretty good today. And a lot of the questions were what happened in the dugout. And Amir had a very, when a pitcher has a no-hitter, a perfect game going, no one talks to him, no one gets close to him. But with a hitter, it's a little different. And after the second home run, Amir went up to Scooter Gennett, said, man, the wind must really be blowing out tonight because you're getting really lucky. And then the flags were limp, totally limp. After the third home run, people were like, 3 home runs, that's no big deal. People have done that before. Arroyo laces in a hit. But, yeah, a lot of the questions were about what was going on in the dugout last night. And Amir Garrett, his story is good as well. So it was a terrific lunch for the Fox sponsors today, and it was scheduled a month ago. How about luck involved? Scheduling Scooter Gennett a month ago, and then that happens last night.
Oh, no, I think that's just a lot of smarts by Fox Sports Ohio. Starting with Francois McGillicuddy. I give him all the credit. He is a boss, after all, Chris. You should have thought of that, not me. Actually, Jim should have thought of that.
Even though it was Ricky V that looked ahead and made that choice.
No, it's always the boss. It's not Ricky V. That's a sales guy.
Yeah, who's Ricky V anyway?
You know Ricky V. No, it's always the boss. I think it was actually a meeting among the trio of Francois McGillicuddy, Tom Farmer, and Bob Pennell. There's no way Josh Hall would have been there for that. Fouled back out of play by Billy Hamilton. Now, of course, Trey Dolly's a guy getting you lined up with all these, big endorsement things you've been doing around town. So you probably want to include him as well. I'm just trying to help you.
I got to tell you that at 7 a.m. today, I got a text from Greg Reese, who runs Mike's Car Wash. And he said,
here we go. Here we go.
Mike's Car Wash will buy that bow tie back for $500. And I said, well, we got to put it up for auction.
A
little short, Greg. But you know what? He's not short on love. And not short on car washing either.
That's for sure.
Hope they had a big day out there today.
Fouled out of play.
And they've really stepped up also in support of that Reds Community Fund. I mean, all the Reds sponsors. This has been, you talk about a team effort on the field. It's been a team effort, everywhere you look when it comes to supporting the community fund and the work they do.
One and two on Billy. Arroyo at first, 2 outs in the inning. Just fought that one off.
Ooh.
Nice play down there. Barehanded.
That's a little Joey Votto action by Billy Hamilton right there.
This guy made a play. How about that? Strike 3 called, and Hamilton knew it. Reds get a home run by Shebler. Long way to go in this one. We've played 5. And the Reds trail after the Shebler home run. 3-1 St. Louis.
Reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Call center in action. MVP gift package tonight on the Reds Community Fund Telethon. 513-765-7700 is the number. Reds.com/telethon. You can make the same donation. A Votto dual home and away replica jersey. That's very cool. Hamilton wall figurine. Vintage Reds pennant. Reds license plate holder. I love that one. The Reds hat with Mr. Red Legs on it. 2 Reds tickets to a future game and a premium package of a $200 donation. All of those items plus an autographed baseball from one of your favorite Reds players. I'm Jim Day up here in the call center, and you know what I got for this bow tie as we wait for Reds Medical Director Dr. Timothy Krimchek. Larry Footer, Chris Welsh, $1,500 bid for the bow tie. Doc K, let's bring you on in here. Come on in here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hollywood in the house.
You better get to it.
Yep. Reds Medical Director Dr. Timothy Krimchek and Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. These are your people back here. Your volunteers tonight are working the phones.
Well, they're working overtime. That's good. You know what? It's all for a great cause.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the money that's coming in here goes to the community fund and all the incredible things this community fund has done. And really since, and you touched on it before, 2006 when new ownership, Mr. Castellini and the group of owners took over, really has taken this, skyrocketed it, and we wanted to be involved with Beacon Orthopedics because, again, the money goes to an unbelievable cause, our youth, whether it's baseball, softball, teaching them, you know, just how to live life right and giving them things that they might not otherwise have, and why not give it back to our community?
Well, I hear that Beacon wants to make a donation, correct?
I believe Beacon does want to make a donation. How did you hear that?
Well, you know, I hear through the grapevine, Doc, that opening up the pocketbooks and putting the money where your mouth is.
Well, we put a lot of money into the community fund, and that we support this and we promoted this today, and it's one of those things we're going to continue to do, and we really believe in it. And that's why everybody's here. They're here not because they have to be, because they want to be.
All right, I'll give you the total. $15,000 from Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
That's
right.
That is large. Well, it is large, and I think hopefully in time it'll be more and more, because as we watch what this money does, and all you got to do is come to the Youth Academy to see what this money does and watch these young kids that are going off to college to play ball or whatever they do. It's absolutely worth every penny. And probably more. And you work on world-class athletes. There's no doubt about that. But at your practice as well, it's the everyday Joes, if you will, young men and women who are trying to win at the game of life, and we want to stress that as well. It's not just about baseball or softball. It's about leading a productive life and pointing these kids in the right direction. And you see a lot of these. Well, you know, it's funny. People ask me all the time, hey, it must be a lot of pressure to take care of these multi-million-dollar players and get them back on the field. The pressure is for the kids that are the young kids that get hurt. You want to get them back on the field. You want to get them back in their community, playing their sport with their friends, getting on that right road to get, whether it be finish high school, go to college, and to continue their career. That's where the pressure is. And so what the community fund does, gives its money back to the community. I like to think we're in direct alignment with kids, and taking care of kids, getting them back on the field, helping mentor them in the way that we do. So it's a tremendous thing. And again, I want to thank Jane Walker, who actually helps us tremendously, works with Charlie's been on a community fund since I've been a member of the team, I believe in the late 90s or 2000, and her position has continued to grow. Well, Doc, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do in the community and all these volunteers that are behind us. We thank you for their time and you heading up this effort. And again, thank you for the donation. What do we have to do to see you eat lunch? I watch on TV and that Skyline all the time. Oh, you're killing me. Well, you know what? I'll pound some Skyline or whatever they want to eat at this lunch coming up. It is a $1,000 donation. So let me tell you something. With Scooter and Billy is a hoot. I think that would be worth every penny, too. I mean, you can talk baseball, life. I mean, that would be priceless. I might even give a Billy Hamilton impression along the way during lunch. I heard it's better than himself. We'll do that as well, $1,000 donation. But really, anything you have out there, folks, $5, $10. You can volunteer your time as well. So much to get involved with the Reds Community Fund. Doc, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Nice to see you as always. As Jim said, any amount, there's no amount too small. This is a terrific, terrific thing. All right, Tom, back to you.
All right, you know, Dr. Krimchek and his entire team at Beacon, you know, he wasn't going to give the dollar amount. Jim was the guy who ended up giving that dollar amount. But, you know, for many of you who have kids playing youth sports, and especially once they get into junior high and high school, where Beacon is making an incredible footprint in our area. And Tim's father, Dr. Krimchek, was the one that really started this whole thing, but Tim and his group have taken it to an entirely different level, is having, you know, one of their doctors or one of their trainers at every single sporting event, boy or girl, once they get lined up with your particular high school, and having open clinics on a Saturday morning after a Friday night game in case athletes are injured, or a place to go if there's an injury during the game immediately to get looked at. And the people at Beacon, they are very much involved for the children and the young people in our community, not just the Reds Community Fund.
And it goes just a lot beyond just giving them medical care and medical advice. I mean, it can go as far as getting training. I've done many pitching clinics where Dr. Kremchek would provide another orthopedic surgeon or a trainer or a therapist to come down and kind of supplement what we're talking about as far as, you know, training kids how to pitch. But he said, here's how you get ready so you don't hurt your arm. I mean, just such valuable information, so valuable in the community. What a great and generous gift he has given to the Reds. And I'll tell you, he is down here at the ballpark. Tim Kremchek. Just about every day of every home game.
And that's after getting up at about 4:30 every morning, because he works out before he does surgery every morning around 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. He's on his game. Totally on his game. 2-1 to Eric Fryer. A little bit of a surprise maybe for some would be that there is a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. Now, Lance Lynn, we talked earlier, missed all of last year. And so he's trying to build his way back up. And they have Matt Bowman getting loose in their bullpen. And that one is hooked into left field by Fryer. And the pitch hitter, will Dexter Fowler bat? Yes, he will. So the night is over for Lance Lynn. 5 innings of 1-run baseball. Only gave up 3 hits. Fan 4, walk 2. You know, I don't think this has anything to do with managing innings for Lance Lynn or pitch count. I mean, maybe he's just out of steam. You know, 2 starts ago, he went 8 innings, allowed 2 hits, and punched out 10 in a no decision against the Dodgers. His last 2 starts, he pitched into the 6th inning before being removed. And now Brian Price will come get Bronson Arroyo. This will be our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Wandy Peralta will take over to face Fowler when we come back.
Are tax deductible, and that $70,000 total I just gave you does not include the bow tie.
First pitch thrown by Wandy Peralta is blasted into center field by Fowler. 1 run scores. Second runner coming to the plate, and he is out of the plate. So the Cardinals get the run back. The Reds scored in the 5th. It'll be charged to Arroyo. Fowler off the bench, a run scoring single. 4-1 St. Louis after 5½. It was Devin Mesoraco blocking the plate. And the call stands. The runner is out at the plate.
Now, the question is, you block the plate before you get the baseball and make the runner veer to get out of the way. And he obviously did not do that.
So that'll take us to a
Nobody in the Cardinals,
timeout.
I got very upset.
Back in a moment. Here on Fox Sports Ohio. Stick around for Reds Live, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. That'll be coming up right after the conclusion of this one tonight. No TV tomorrow. Radio only for the series finale. Cardinals are going to their bullpen. They have to cover 4 outs with that bullpen tonight. They had to cover more than that last night. 4 innings. They had to cover a lot more than that last night after the Reds knocked Wainwright out of the game after 3 2/3 innings. So here's Matt Bowman. Cardinal bullpen has not been a strength of this club so far this year. We showed you some of the numbers. Their starters have the lowest ERA in the league. Their bullpen has certainly had a lot of ups and downs so far this season, and those numbers certainly would back it up. Dead last in wins and win percentage, but look at the opponent's batting average, and most importantly, the ERA. 13th out of 15 teams in the league.
Well, Bowman is one of those relievers, Tom, that when he's good, he's really good, but when he's bad, he just gives up big numbers. And he's only had about 3 or 4 games on which he has been scored upon, but he's given up big numbers. 3 runs, 4 runs, 3 runs in 3 different games, and that's what blows that earned run average up. So relievers, that number can be a little misleading, but still you have to wonder and scratch your head why they would have taken Lance Lynn out, unless it was something, you know, to do with either saving him, as you may have suggested, or maybe something bothering him.
Well, he retires, does Bowman Cozart to begin the inning. Arroyo goes 5 2/3, allows 8 hits, 4 runs earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Now Votto. He had a infield hit off the pitcher's glove in the 4th, 1 of 2. One to Joey. 2 balls and a strike. Duvall to follow. With the Reds down 3, hitting in the 6th inning. In the air, left field, backing up Martinez, short of the track. He'll come back to get it. My grandfather used to say this is good sleeping weather tonight when you have the windows open. It's going to be a little bit on the chilly side when you pull those covers up later tonight. High temperature in Cincinnati today was only in the 60s. And it's already starting to get cool. You can look around the ballpark. Most of the folks here have coats on or sweatshirts. It's not cold, but a little chillier than we've had of late. Of course, it's perfect for Bark in the Park night. So sometimes you feel for all our buddies out there when it's really warm and we have a Bark in the Park game. But tonight, perfect. Chilling out.
Very well-behaved crowd out there.
Oh, yeah. That ball mashed by Duvall. And that is a fair ball into the corner. So Duvall with a 2-out double. And that will keep the inning alive for Eugenio Suarez.
Well, you don't need to get them all back in one inning, but it sure would be nice to convert this runner here with 2 outs.
Oh, almost knocked the wall down. Then just died down there.
You know, the leader in the clubhouse right now on the bow tie is at $1,700.
Wow.
Rory Billing, who is watching us from London.
You're kidding.
Kind of late there, I would say.
Hey.
I think
That
5
bow tie,
hours.
he'll put all those on Seville Road. A shame on him. Wearing that bow tie around
Better believe
London
it,
town. Suarez, 36 runs batted in. Nearly half of those have come with 2 outs. And he's got 2 outs here and a runner in scoring position. Three balls and a strike now on Suarez. And you got Schebler that if Suarez can reach would come to the plate representing the tying run in this one. Schebler, the team leader in home runs, clubbed his 17th of the year. His last at bat. See if Suarez can keep this inning alive. 3-1 on the way from Bowman. Tapper foul. Suarez hanging around. Three balls, 2 strikes. Once more, Bowman to Suarez. Runner at second, 2 out. And a ground ball to the shortstop will end the inning. Red strand a runner in scoring position. We're off to the 7th. We'll rejoin George Grant when we come back. Reds are down 4-1.
Draft day. We're upstairs getting ready for that. And I hope you all tune in because I think there's a very good chance that it goes 3 days. We have 40 rounds, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the 40th round you hear us call the name of at least one local player that's participated in this program. I hope I have the pleasure of being able to do that.
And that was Dick Williams talking today at our news conference. What a special day this has been. You heard from 2 graduates of the Urban Youth Academy, and here are 2 graduates that are with us tonight that were part of that signing ceremony, Ronnie Allen and R.J. Barnes. Ronnie, for you, I know the experience has been tremendous being part of this program.
Yeah, just a lot of things. You know, we just get treated like big leaguers every single day. And I've learned like every single opportunity that we've gotten, I've taken advantage of it, and so has all my teammates, and it's just been the world to us.
You know, RJ was with us last year. Some of you saw us, and RJ, another year. Now you're a senior. Now you're graduating. You're going to college out of Sycamore High School. I know you're looking forward to college.
Yes, sir. I feel that everything that we've been doing here at the academy for the last 5 years that I've been here it's all prepared me to be not only a better baseball player, but it's prepared me to be a better man. And I feel like just being here has taught me a lot of personal responsibility I'll be able to take on and be able to use at college.
RJ, last year, you and your dad were both here. I talked to both of you. You played for your dad. What's it like playing for your dad?
I feel like it's a weird experience because with my dad, I always get it more than everyone else. So after the game, he might kind of get at everybody, and then I get in the car with him. We get home, and then he's on me again talking about, oh, you could have did this, could have done that. But it's an experience I wouldn't trade for the world.
Talk about experiences, Ronnie. You were part of the Dream Series this year. You had a chance to rub shoulders with your catcher. Charles Johnson was there, Major League catcher. Jerry Manuel, former manager, was there. What was that experience like?
It's the greatest thing I've ever done in baseball. You know, just going down there against, All-Americans, kids throwing 102. I was catching. It's just, it's the closest thing that you can do as an amateur to get on this. And I learned so much, and did well down there, put the bat on the ball well, and it opened up a lot of doors for me.
Anthony Green, the young man who's projected to be the #1 draft pick, or 1, 2, or 3, was part of that team. Did you catch him?
Yeah, Hunter Green, man. He's got a fastball, I caught him, man. He doesn't miss that much either, so it's easy catching him, but it's right there, but it comes in fast.
RJ, if you're sitting home tonight and watching you and Ronnie here, what do you say to people sitting at home that might be thinking of donating?
I say the money that you're donating to here is doing a lot more than you think. The money that you're giving us is helping lots of kids getting tutoring lessons, helps them get them some equipment, and just the money that you can donate will do a lot of good, and we really appreciate it.
And boy, we wish you guys the best of luck. It's been great watching you come through the program. All of you, it's been pretty special, and we're happy for all of you. We look forward to you guys coming back, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's part of the story, and the biggest part of the story of these young people. They're all sitting around here. Guys, say hi to everybody down there. It's a pretty neat time. Special time, guys.
Great stuff, George. And, of course, George was there today. Chris, you were there today. George emceeing that luncheon where you saw the college hats those kids are wearing. Morehouse College, Wabash College, among many, many other schools represented by baseball and softball players coming out of that RBI program in the Urban Academy. Great stuff. That's into center field, a base hit. I tell you what, this Pham is a guy, Chris, you told his story for many, many, many years. Was playing in the minor leagues before getting his first crack in the big leagues. He still never had a chance to be an everyday player, but hey, look, I'm not suggesting he's going to be a star, but he's a pretty impressive player.
You can hang around a long time by being an extra player, being in the right place at the right time, giving it what you have, play good defense, some good at bats. One thing that you need off the bench is a guy that's a good fastball hitter, and Pham is a good fastball hitter. By the way, Tom, update on the bow tie auction.
Yes, sir.
An anonymous donor has stepped forward with a $2,500 bid.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow.
Keep your hands off that bow tie, too.
Well, he contacted me. I was just passing it along to you. Said, if you can get it, I'll give you $2,500. We'll worry about the rest at a later time. Double play will end the inning. I don't think I'd do that. Cardinals scored 3 times after 2 were out, nobody on. Got a home run by Carpenter in the 3rd after a walk, a double by Piscotty. Scored Pham. Piscotty would score on a single by Jerko. Reds got their only run in the 5th inning on the 17th of the year by Schebler. Cardinals tacked on a run against Arroyo in the 6th inning. And now the Reds bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Cardinals are going to their bullpen. They will bring on Brett Cecil. It's a guy who has really taken a lot of heat from some members of the media. I mean, let's face it, in a town like St. Louis, there's not a lot of booing that goes on by the fans. There's not a lot of negative press about the team. And look, they're a team that's won a lot of games over the last number of years, so not a lot to be negative about. But Cecil was given a huge contract to come in to St. Louis during the offseason, a 4-year deal. And he has had a really rough time. Good play there at second base, but the throw is high, and Schebler will be safe to begin the inning. That'll be an infield hit.
Boy, Schebler really hangs in there on left-handers. I mean, that for a young player, lefty on lefty sometimes can be really a tough thing to do, because you bail out a little bit, you're intimidated, your front shoulder doesn't hang in there, but boy, he just hits the ball so late. He can run a little bit too.
All right, now Scooter Gennett, left-handed batter. And that will be a base hit into center field. And 2 lefties, 2 hits against the left-hander Cecil to begin this 7th inning.
I mean, he's throwing them fastballs out over the plate. I know Cecil's best pitch, at least against lefters, ought to be that big breaking ball, but the Reds are being aggressive early in the count, and they're not letting him get to a curveball count. Good strategy by the Reds, being aggressive up there.
Now, Cecil's been a little better lately. Over his last 7 games, spanning 6 innings, he is not allowed to run. Now the batter Mesoraco, the tying run, steps up to the plate with nobody out. And you see the lefties are the ones that have given Cecil problems. And even with that in mind, the Reds have a right-handed batter in the on-deck circle to hit for the pitcher. It would be Kivlehan standing in the on-deck circle right now.
You know, the lefty-righty splits in his career are much more normal than what you're seeing this year. I think short sample size, but I think maybe lefties are being aggressive on him. Not a lot of movement on that fastball. I mean, he comes right over the top with it. When he first came up to the major leagues with the Toronto Blue Jays, he was the starter. Converted about 4 years ago to the bullpen. Actually, he's been a reliever since 2012, and those are the career numbers, splits lefties versus righties. One-time All-Star.
3-1 on Mesoraco. Oh boy, that's a second fastball, a 2-0 count and a 3-1 count. And Mesoraco has looked at a heater right down the can. All right, 3-2. The Reds with the first 2 on, trailing by 3 here in the last of the 7th inning.
It looks like Cecil has a little cut
it does.
in his fastball, and that maybe is why Mesoraco took that pitch on the 3-1 count, because he probably saw it as being off the plate. Most left-handers, when they throw it, ball's going to run away from a right-hander, but Cecil's actually runs the other way.
And he went around too far on the breaking ball. 1 out.
You know, from what we've seen with Patrick Kivlehan, and he's the pinch hitter coming up to the plate right now, he's been very aggressive early in the count. I mean, he's had a lot of first pitch at bats where he's up there hunting a fastball.
And that's where you get scouting reports.
Sure.
Right there. First pitch, doesn't throw him a fastball. But he does fall behind 1-0. That ball is hit hard into right center field. Kivlehan has tied the game.
Well, he finally got his fastball, and this is what he does to it. Man, oh man. Does this team like to come back or what?
Well, they have 12 come from behind wins this year.
Wow.
Now, clearly, this is not a win. They just tied the game, but there is no doubt whatsoever about the inner toughness in so many games this year for this Reds team when they have fallen behind. That is his first career pinch hit home run, and what a time to do it off Cecil here in the 7th inning to knot things up at 4.
I'll tell you, every time Billy fakes a bunt, those corner infielders come in a little bit more. And they go back to their positions, but they don't go back quite as deep. So you open up some holes, you know, you hit the ball sharply, you can get it by these guys if they're playing in close enough. Cecil's got to be rattled.
Well, when you sign the kind of contract he signed, look, all these guys are making a lot of money. We rarely ever talk about money up here, but when you come into a franchise and they give you a 4-year deal as a relief pitcher, if I'm not mistaken, this guy's making almost as much money as the entire Reds bullpen combined.
Mm-hmm.
Reds are spending right around $11 million total on their bullpen. And this guy is scuffling. That is just not going to work. Carpenter standing 2 away in the inning. I understand Jim Day has a quick story about Mr. Kivlehan.
He gave 2 hours of his time on Monday to the Reds Community Fund. He also recently took time and was a member, Reds donating his time to the Miracle League Fantasy Camp, working with some special kids over the last week. So about 4 hours of donated time. I would say that's a little telethon and Reds Community Fund karma going on tonight.
Well, you better believe that. And if any of you at home, even if you just go sit and watch on a Saturday or a Sunday, those kids play at one of the Miracle League fields we have, and talked about the Nuxall Foundation, and that is a fair ball off the bat, and the bat boy picked it up. So that'll be a ground rule double. They are sending Cozart to second base. That's all right, big man. It's your natural reaction. I mean, and look, and this is a clean pick, Chris.
Well, it is. He's being the umpire and the fielder at the same time.
Look at the form, though.
You can see, but he's looking at the ball, and the umpire makes kind of a late call right there. And then he drops the ball. He goes, I think I'm going to drop it and act like nothing happened right here. Oh, look at that. A baseball. How'd that get here?
Look at his form, though. Down on one knee.
Okay. No
that looked like Pablo Sandoval down there. Don't worry about it, big man.
It's a double either way.
That's right. Don't worry about it. That's all for Cecil. He does not even survive the 7th. In 29 consecutive games. It's the longest by a Red shortstop since the Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, 31 and 91. And now Cozart represents the go-ahead run. Reds have scored 3 here in the 7th. And Rosenthal, their one-time closer, takes over on the mound, and Votto greets him with a drive into left center field. The Reds have the lead. First pitch thrown by Rosenthal, and Votto slams it to the seats in left center field. The Reds have scored 5 against his Cardinal bullpen in the 7th inning.
Well, you got to figure that Mike Matheny's thinking, you know what, there's one manager here in this ballpark making all the right decisions, and there's another guy making the bad decisions. And right now the Cardinals, a 5 spot in the 7th, have seen that lead disappear, and now they trail.
That ball was killed by Votto.
My.
I mean, just killed.
I mean, but both the home runs, I mean, opposite field. Kivlehan went opposite field. Votto went opposite field.
Four runs in 2/3 of an inning charged to Cecil. I asked some of the Cardinal folks, I said, are they booing him at home? You know, because you get a read on maybe mentally what might be going on for a player when that kind of thing begins to happen. He said, our fans don't boo in St. Louis. I said, okay. They'd be booing right now. What an inning. Kivlehan off the bench to tie it. A 3-run blast. First pitch from Rosenthal. Votto gives him a lead. Every game on Fox Sports Ohio with the Reds Live, brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Our next telecast will come your way Friday night out west against the Dodgers. Well, you look back on plays, Chris. We saw Duvall a couple nights ago threw out runners at home and at third. How about this play, Hamilton to Scooter Gennett?
You know, I don't know whether the Cardinals are running in the outs or that this relay throw is just so good by Gennett. First started by Billy Hamilton. Gennett on the money. The Cardinals did review that, or they wanted it reviewed to see if Mesoraca was blocking the play, but he gave him enough room to get in there. So they've had 2 runners thrown out at the plate, 1 runner at third base in the last couple of games.
All right, so now it's a Reds bullpen. And as they did 2 nights ago, once they got a lead in the 7th inning, and that was a magical inning. You may remember on Monday night, they scored 4 times. They scored 5 in the 7th tonight. They gave it to Lorenzen in the 8th, and they gave it to Iglesias in the 9th. Jerko in the game, 1 of 3, at an RBI single back into 3rd inning. He'll be followed by Martinez and then the shortstop Diaz. And a 2-hopper to Votto. This is easy. 1 out. Boy, how about Jerko there? I know that's a ground ball to first, and maybe there's something wrong with him. We don't know. You always give somebody the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, if Votto bobbles that ball, he could have bobbled it 5 times. Oh, it looked like Jerko never saw where it was. But He didn't even make it to the bag. Now Tapper foul wide of third by Martinez.
You know, Tom, I got a couple of questions on Twitter about that play by the ball boy and the rule that's involved in that. And basically, if he intentionally fields a ball like that, it's a dead ball, ground rule double, or a book rule double. But if it accidentally hits off of him or his chair or a piece of equipment down there, the ball stays alive.
That's a very good question and a very good answer. Tell you, that guy can pick it down there.
We got to get his name and a little bio on him. I think that'd be a good idea for Jim Day for one of our future games. Or I could do a tech talk with him.
I tell you right there how to field a ground ball. I mean, that was textbook. Talking to the big fella down there. Saying, hey, man, what happened in that Cardinals 7th inning? That Reds 7th.
Oh, he doesn't look like the kind that's going to rub it in, though.
Well, you never know. I mean, he might look like the friendly kind of guy, but he might like trash talking. That one served in the right field, a base hit. All right, Jim Day, how about it?
Well, the Reds Community Fund is all about opportunities, right? Part of the program is the RBI program, reviving baseball in the inner cities. The Ball Boys at Great American Ballpark, straight from the RBI program.
Yep.
So, again, your money going to kids like that.
What a thrill it's got to be for him to come down here for anybody, any kid, young person. We've seen boys and girls. Down the third baseline and the first baseline as a tying run now comes to the plate. Diaz, a shortstop. So the Reds trying to hold him down here in the 8th inning. A 1-out single by Martinez. Tapper to Suarez. There's one. They'll turn it over and not going to be in time. 2 out. Oh, what a pitch that was on the outside corner. Don't know if that was a slider or more of a cutter, but had the movement of a slider. Oh, and 1 on DeYoung. You know, we were talking about it the other night, and again, you'd be weakening yourself in one area, but you know, would you be strengthening yourself in another? You just watch the confidence seemingly with every outing. And it's not to say he hadn't had a bad game here or there, because everybody has. But Lorenzen just looks like a whole different guy than the guy that was starting 2 years ago.
Well, let's face it, 2 years ago, he was pretty much fresh out of college. And even in college, he was the type of pitcher that didn't get a lot of innings in because he was a two-way player and a good one. Played center field, and they'd bring him in the 9th inning to throw 100 miles an hour and blow away the other team and get the saves. So the Reds put him in the minor leagues as a starter. So you get some innings, you learn how to pitch, But I think this little trial in the bullpen has been just outstanding. It's kind of a throwback as to the way teams used to do it. But I really believe that when they converted Michael Lorenzen from starter to reliever, they feel that it may be a long-range move. Well, Michael, if he has anything to say about it, he may prefer to be a starter. He's already told us that. He's told me that. And you wonder if the Reds will sometime consider that.
1-2 to count on DeYoung. 2 outs, runner at first. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Reds will bat in the 8th, leading by 2.
A $1,000 donation. You can go to lunch with Billy Hamilton, Scooter Gennett, and myself for a $1,000 donation as you look at the MVP gift package. And last night on the post-game show, when I just threw out there, hey, why don't you put up that historic bow tie, Tuesday bow tie up for auction tonight? Little did I know that it would bring in so much money, Tom and Chris, but we are rocking and rolling. Time for the home stretch here, Reds country. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Great stuff tonight, Jim and George Grand and all the folks from Beacon and all the volunteers from the Reds organization and the Reds Community Fund, and especially the biggest thanks of all to those of you at home that have been with us. And whether you're able to give money or not, we certainly could use your time at the Urban Academy or any other way. So thank you. Kevin Segras, left-hander, comes on from the Cardinal bullpen. Bowman pitched a scoreless 6th, but the duo of Cecil and Rosenthal combined to pitch 1 inning. They allow 5 hits and 5 earned runs. Segras gave up a huge hit, though he wasn't charged for a run. He came in with 2 on and 1 out to face Scooter Gennett in a 2-2 game in the 7th inning here on Monday night. And Gennett hit the 2-run double off of him to break the tie, and it proved to be the game-winning hit. Just got underneath that one. Now Shepard. What a return to the lineup tonight for Shebler. He walked his first time up, hit a solo home run, a laser to the seats in right center in the 5th, and then had that infield hit to start the 5-run 7th inning. He would score the first of 5. This will be another hit.
And he bangs it right in front of home plate, and Kevin Segras thought he had gloved the baseball. He came back down onto the ground and realized, oh, ball just tipped off the glove, didn't go into the pocket.
So the Cardinals have brought in left-handers, and they have faced They face Schebler. Did Cecil allowed a hit? Left-hander Jeanette allowed a hit. Didn't face another left-hander. The first left-handed batter that Segras faces, he gives up an infield hit. Now, none of the three were hit hard.
Right.
But you're bringing in left-handers to get left-handers out.
Well, you know, you
have a little luck. I mean, if there was such a thing on the first line of the contract, they might get two of them in one fell swoop. They will. All right. We're off to the ninth. Raisel Iglesias is perfect. Is he coming on to pitch the ninth? We'll tell you in a minute. Raisel Iglesias is a perfect 10 of 10 on the year. In save opportunities, he closed out the game here against the Cardinals on Monday night. Boy, look at those numbers. That's doing it. Greg Garcia will lead things off. Batting for Fryer. And Yadier Molina has moved into the on-deck circle.
Now, Tom, you mentioned that the phone lines for the Reds Community Fund Telethon stay open through the postgame show. The Twitter poll or the auction for the bow tie, which now sits at $2,700.
Oh, my gosh.
Closes at the end of this ball game.
Okay.
So if you want on it, you're 3 outs away.
And again, tell those who maybe are just tuning in. It's a bow tie you wore last night.
It's a bow tie I wore last night.
It's a really nice bow tie.
It's a nice bow tie. It has American flags on it. I wore it in to commemorate D-Day. And it was on, of course, a historic night that Scooter Gennett hits 4 home runs. Scooter will sign it. I will sign it. We'll put it in a nice shadow box with a little plaque that explains what the day was all about. And we'll have it all fixed up for you and get it to you. And right now that bid is at $2,700. And there's only one of those.
And again, the Twitter account
is my Twitter account, which is at ThinkPitch. Like think with your head and pitch with your arm. Think pitch, one word.
Swing and a miss. Foul tipped actually into the glove of Mesoraco, and gone is Garcia to open the ninth. Look at the movement on that pitch. It almost went from one side of the plate to the other.
You know, his delivery doesn't look like it, but the movement and the velocity of his fastball, very much like Carlos Martinez. Iglesias separates himself, I think, because he throws from so many different arm angles.
One and one on Molina. Brewers have just rallied to take a 4-3 lead over the Giants. That game in the 6th inning. Cubs are trailing the Marlins at Wrigley, last of a 6-5-3. And the Pirates are blasting Baltimore in the 8th, 6-1. Sounded like he broke his back. Yep, he did. Waiting on another one from the bat boy, I think. Yep. Suarez on to Votto. The Cardinals are down to their final out of the night. Reds are an out away from making it 3 straight wins in this series against the Cardinals. And a chance for a series sweep tomorrow afternoon. Again, that'll be a 12:35 first pitch tomorrow. The one-time Red Mike Leake against Scott Feldman. No television tomorrow. Tickets are available. Weather's supposed to be a really nice day again tomorrow, so come on down to the ballpark. This ought to do it. From short right, Scooter. Game over. The Reds rally with 5 in the bottom of the 7th and storm back for their 13th come-from-behind win this year to down the St. Louis Cardinals by a final count of 6-4. What an impressive win for the Redlegs.
I'll tell you what, you know, the Cardinals, they're probably wondering which end is up right now. They have lost every game on this road trip, and for a team that used to just own the Cincinnati Reds, it has completely turned around. This ball club refuses to give up. They keep coming back, and boy, right now they are some kind of fun to watch.
So the Reds now 2 games under 500, 28-30, hoping to gain ground inside the Central. We'll be back in a moment.